You should literally be playing through.
Welcome back, familiar to Northside LDN. Today, we've got news of Arsenal completing a deal of Kepa to become our second goalkeeper. And this is crazy. Once again, this club showing me that they're not learning from the past. I see a lot of Arsenal fans online justifying this signing. And we're going to get through that and a lot more. And I'm going to explain exactly why this signing, to me, as it currently stands, shows me that we have not learned from the past. And before we get into that, Gun Down UK, Carl, man, big up, bro. How you doing, man?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Good to be back on again. As soon as I saw the news this afternoon that this was happening, I was like, oh, for flip's sake. Are we really doing this again? It's like going back to the same brothel again and catching something on the way out. In this case, it's Kepa.
Who can't catch things, ironically.
Absolute joke. What are you saying,
Rob,
that
analogy.
Big up, Carl, man. Rob, what are you saying, man? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm pissed off that England couldn't score more than one goal against Andorra that fucked a better mind up. I mean, even England, you'd think, come on, you can score more than one goal against Andorra, can't you? No. So that's kind of got me in a little bit of a mood. But yeah, otherwise, this news is just one of them ones you see and you think, well, that's not a surprise, is it? It's like the same old story again, isn't it? So what I will say as well is actually I've been streaming. So I've actually got where it says at Rob Future there. I'm starting a channel just to say. So yeah, I'm going to try and give it a shot and try and do as much content as I can. I've got like loads of stuff that I do in the evening already. So God knows how I'm going to fit it all in. So I just thought I'd shamelessly mention that because I do enjoy coming on and like speaking with people and speaking about Arsenal. And do you know what? Funny enough, I don't have Arsenal mates. Everybody's bloody Man United or Spurs. I live in Turnpike Lane, North London, and I don't know any Arsenal fans. Like none of my mates are Arsenal fans. I've got one Arsenal mate who's in Manchester, but I've got nobody who I actually can really talk to. So I enjoy coming on and thanks for having me on as well when you do your calling shows. And it's good to actually speak to other Arsenal fans and kind of just it's a little bit of a therapeutic thing as well.
100%, man. Big up to you, man. Make sure you guys are subscribing to Rob Future. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're supporting everyone that's on the panel. Yo, what are you saying, man? Man, like Mr. Real Madrid. What are you telling me, bro? You good?
Oh, I'm great, mate. What is it now? Almost. Yeah, it is. What is it? Close to four signings done. Close to 10th of June, and 4 signings done already. Northside. I'm over the moon, man. I'm actually shocked that we've got so much business done. I can't lie. Getting the best Argentinian talent out there, right now. I think everyone's seen who we're talking about as well. And not only him, man. Hoysson's been done. Upgrading our defense. Trent's come in. Talking about Carreras as well. That's a left back from your club, actually. No, so your Portuguese club, Benfica. I think you know who I'm talking about. Him and looking to buy a midfielder and a striker as well. A player off the bench. So that's 5-6 signings we're looking at in total. And man, we're reacting after what happened. Had a terrible season, and man, we're looking to bounce back, man. We're looking to bounce back to try and regain, to try and win back what we lost. So man, but no, I'm pretty confident that we can do something next season. Very confident. But then obviously we see the the Kepa news, and what you gotta say? Berta joins, and then the same old bullshit happens, isn't it? I'm actually surprised also the amount of people that are happy with him being a backup, just because he's 5 mil. Do you get what I'm saying? But I don't think these people realize.
Let's get straight into that because
I don't think people realize.
For me, this is why I have no desire really to go live right now. I can't lie. It's getting harder and harder every time to want to do content around this football club because they're just certified losers, and I don't like associating myself with certified losers. And the reason why they still ain't good enough, is because we've done this cheapskate route before. We went and got Jorginho that was past it, that could do a job that was cheap. What did that benefit?
Igal said it was a bargain, by the way.
Fuck what Igal saying, bruv. I don't even give a fuck what Igal saying. Fuck what the fuck Igal saying, bruv. Yeah, I'm saying it's pissing me off, bro, because we've been doing this shit here time and time again. Getting Peter Cech when he was washed, getting Willian when he was washed, signing Rob Holding to extensions, signing El Nene to extensions, going and signing Nketiah and flipping Reece Nelson to extensions. These are all the cheapskate route. We continue to do the cheapskate thing, and what does it actually bring us? We continue to keep players here or bring in players that are cheap. How many? We went and bought Trusty. What the fuck did he do for this club? We bought Carl Hein. What did he do for this club? We bought Runnison. What did he do for this club? All these cheapskate options, what have they done for this club? Instead of going out there and buying a proper striker, we continue to keep Jesus as our second choice. He got injured again last season. What did he do for this club? What did he do? We bought Sterling on loan from Chelsea. That was bad enough. Luckily, we didn't activate the option to buy. What did he do? What did he actually provide for us? We bought Marquinhos on a cheap. What did he bring? People sitting there telling me, oh, yeah, but it's a cheap option and maybe he can play in the cup games. Yeah? I remember once upon a time where everyone was telling me we don't need to rely on Nketiah. And then we had 10 games to go to get top 4. Guess what? Nketiah didn't perform. Tottenham got top 4 over us. I remember man saying, oh, yeah, but we don't need to rely on Jesus. We got Havertz. And then we didn't strengthen that area. We didn't get a proper striker. And then we played Havertz into the ground. And what was the option? Moreno. That's a DM. That's not going to get us over the line to win a major honor. I've been hearing this crap about, we don't have to rely on the backups until we have to rely on them. And then what are we doing? What about we got the best centre-back pairing in Europe? And then one of our centre-backs get injured. We're playing Kivior. Oh, guess what? We bottle every competition. But Kivior was the backup. But what happens when the backup is your main player? How many injuries did we have this season that we had to rely on players that were backups? How did they perform? Were they good enough? Yeah, you can tell me Ethan was good, Skelly was good. Calafiori hasn't been good this season at all. Moreno was trash as a DM. So what are we doing here? Trossard and Martinelli both been trash. Sterling's been trash to the point where Ethan was playing as a right winger. So it's all good telling me that Kepa is going to play in the cups. How do you know at the start of the season Raya doesn't get a season-long injury? Then what? Look at the quality of Liverpool. When they had their main goalkeeper out, Kelleher filled in to the point where people forgot.
Have you seen our backup? No, sir. Have you seen our backup?
No, but this is what I'm talking about. You got Lunin, bro.
I take Lunin in a heartbeat.
These man think, do you know what? Quickly, and then I'll let everyone else go, What I hate about Arsenal fans, they think that they can predict how long players are going to be unavailable and what players are going to play which percentage of the season. You don't know what's going to happen. So you prepare yourself that you have quality rotation, i.e. Timber and Ben White. I don't care if Ben White starts on the right. I don't care if Timber starts on the right. I can count on either one of them. Quality rotation. Why don't we have that throughout the team? The whole bench that everyone's complaining about is full of players that could do a job. So why aren't we doing a job with Nuntavaj that we just sold to Lazio for 8 million? Why don't we do a job with Jorginho that's left to go to Flamengo? Why don't we do a job with Marquinhos? All these players that you tell me can do a job. The problem is this. It's a massive, massive risk. If Raya gets a season-long injury and we have to rely on Kepa, please tell me what competition we're going to win with him in goal. This guy is shit at long shots. He's shit at commanding his box. The guy's rubbish, bro. Over one season. One decent season with Bournemouth, and all of a sudden we're buying him for... Yes, it's a lot. I don't give a fuck about the money. You know why? Because at the start of last season, it was Arteta needs to deliver a major honour or he's gone. The start of this season now, it's he has to win a major honour or he's gone. So it's not about who can do a job. Who's going to get us over the line? That is the point. We're seeing Kelleher go for 12 million. We're seeing flipping Barcelona buying that Juan Garcia for flipping 20 million. Those are other goalkeepers that are better than Kepa.
Lunin's available for 40, by the way. Lunin's available for 40 million.
Bro, a man are telling us, so why can't we afford that? Why can't we buy that? We've got money, so money's not the option.
Yeah, but because they think it's cheaper, they want to go for the cheaper option. That's why they're doing it.
God, you man, I'm tired of this club.
I'm pissing him off even more. I can't lie.
Also, on top of this as well, you've got Arteta going on about. I don't know how serious this is, but he did state in a press conference that the players wanted to come in for a pre-season. He wants to bring the players in early for essentially a pre-season training, as if injuries haven't been a problem enough. Does this guy not learn? Does this guy not think ahead and think, well, hang on a second, the last 12 months have been pretty dicey when it comes to injuries. Why are you bringing them in early? They're all going to be fucked by Christmas when the whole, the the cold winter nights come. These guys are all going to be fucked by Christmas. I'm serious.
Just to add to Kepa, what he had last year. Okay, so obviously he was at Bournemouth on loan. He started 31 times, 6 clean sheets. 6
clean sheets.
6 clean sheets. That is all that he had last season in the Premier League. And he also played in the FA Cup as well. So they say, oh, no, we could use him in the cup competitions. Cool. You're going to trust him? Because in the third round, they were home to West Brom. They won 5-1. He conceded a goal against fucking West Bromwich Albion. You're really going to tell me he's good enough? And then they go and lose to City in the quarterfinals. They lose 2-1.
Carl, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Whose idea do you and all you man on the panel whose idea do you think this signing is? Do you think it's Arteta or do you think it's Berta? Whose idea do you think this is?
Do you know what? I'm starting to have I'm not having doubts on Berta, but I'm just very, very concerned about what sort of players that we're now going for. Because we knew Zubameni was pre-Berta. We knew Sesko was also pre-Berta as well. Anything past that point is now on the sporting director. I'm hoping that God that wasn't a Berta signing. If that was, that's a red flag. Immediate red flag right there.
I think the initial players who will come in, I think, will all be Arteta players. I think the point is to bring Berta in initially to get those players, and then Arteta doesn't have an excuse anymore.
But why would you bring them in? Because then if you sack him, the next manager comes and says he wants to get rid of them. Then they're on stupid wages now. You have to get rid of them. And
that's exactly what I was about to say. I think it's a stupid idea because of that very reason, but it seems to be what's happening because I think that Edu was made out to be the fall guy who couldn't get Arteta the players that he wants, quote unquote, and so they're bringing in somebody who will do that. But I don't agree with it.
Yeah, because it's him, it's Sesko, who I think is another crazy guy you're going for. But again, I knew from the second if it was between him or Gyökeres, he would go for Sesko because he suits Arteta's style much more. But it is what it is.
No, I can't lie. This is shameless. Big up to Macy, bro. Big up to Macy. What do you make of this, bro? Because do you know what the easiest way to debunk this signing is? Does Kepa make us better champions or give us a higher chance of winning a major honor? If the answer is no, then why the fuck is he here?
I don't know.
Why is he here?
I knew this was going to happen because I already knew firsthand what this football club was going to do because Arsenal Football Club ain't serious of buying any elite players. They just want to do, they love to buy, they just love to be in links with a player and say, oh, look, this is a good option. Let's go for that player. And when that doesn't happen, they leave that and they move on to the next player. So Kepa coming to Arsenal, I mean, last season he was okay at Bournemouth, but I just think we should not be getting a guy like Kepa because, this is like another reason why I do not want another Chelsea reject at my football club because every time we get another Chelsea player at our club, they absolutely just ruin their careers at our club. Look at the amount of times a Chelsea player has come to our club and has literally ruined their careers. Petr Cech, Willian, Jorginho, Havertz, Sterling, all these players that came to Arsenal, their careers were over instantly. And the same thing could happen to Kepa if he comes to our football club. So if I'm Kepa, I'm literally going to turn my loan move to Bournemouth to a permanent move. And the fact of the matter is that we're being linked to IGOR PAIXAO. I don't even know anything about this guy. I mean, people can say, oh, but he's somebody that Timber knows very well because they played against each other in the Dutch Eredivisie. And look, I'm not a big fan of the Dutch Eredivisie. One of my cousins watches that league, but the thing is, I just do not want another player from the Eredivisie that we do not know of to come to our football club because we've got Yuri and Timber. So what's the point of getting PAIXAO to come to our football club? Like, what's he going to do? And people can say, oh, but he won the Dutch league with Feyenoord when Arne Slot was in charge. So what makes us think that PAIXAO and Kepa are gonna bring something out of this football club? So
I can't lie. I actually disagree with that. I haven't watched a lot of him, but he looks decent and his numbers are decent as well. It's always a risk, but every signing is a risk. But I feel like that IGOR PAIXAO looks more promising than a lot of the players we're seeming to get linked to. I still feel like this guy has a higher ceiling than Semenyo or somebody like flipping Kepa or players like that. Is he at risk? Yeah, it's a risk. But I can see the logic. But I can see the logic behind it. What I don't like is when this club is linked or is trying to bring in players that I don't see the logic behind. I don't see us getting more out of Semenyo because we don't play the attacking football that Bournemouth does. And he only scored 11 goals. So I don't understand it. We play a very rigid style of play. And when we attack mainly either to provide for Havertz or to provide for Saka. So I don't see where he's going to get the chances in the final third to get his numbers more than what he's producing at Bournemouth. I feel like that's a player that's being maximized due to their actual play style. Whereas our play style isn't going to get more out of him. Whereas IGOR, I think he's a decent player. Are we levels above it? Yeah. He's 24 years old. So he's going into his prime. And let's see. I don't mind. Because if we get him and we get Lookman, I don't think those are bad options for the left-hand side. And then we go and get Consensao to rotate with Saka. I'm not angry at that. I can see the logic behind
What
that.
about Rodrigo?
yeah, but the thing is,
I would take Rodrigo as well, but I don't feel like we're going to get Rodrigo. Bro, how are we going to get Rodrigo? We couldn't even convince Mbeumo. That's the thing. Like, we couldn't even convince Mbeumo.
Yeah, 100
why
mil.
would Rodrigo be convinced? Like,
Yeah, 100 mil. That's the price tag.
yeah,
but we can't even put down 100 mil for a striker at the moment as it currently stands. So I
No,
don't even.
You're about to put over
I can't
90
really see it.
but you're about to put over 90 for Sesko.
Bro, do you know what it is, yeah? When people try to tell me that certain signings are good, yeah? If we have to rely on Kepa, let's say we're in the quarterfinals or semi-finals of the Champions League, yeah? Let's just say. And we have to rely on Kepa. Raya's injured for the rest of the season. Are you telling me you're confident going up against Bayern, going up against Inter, going up against Barca, Real Madrid with Kepa in goal?
No, I would be confident. I would be confident playing against you guys with him in goal.
Exactly.
A lot more confident.
Even if it's in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, going up against Newcastle, going up against Aston Villa, going up against Liverpool, going up against any of these teams with Kepa in goal, are you confident? Let's say we're in a title race, yeah? The last 10 games to go, Kepa's in goal. The same way we had to rely on Jesus Nketiah a couple of seasons ago. Are you telling me that you're confident with Kepa in goal? And these scenarios, people say, oh, you're being reactionary. No, they can happen.
It happened last season.
Look, we had to rely on Kivior at the end of the season. We had to rely on Kivior. There's times we've had to rely on Jorginho to play a couple of games. There's times we had to rely on Moreno, a DM, to play a striker. So don't tell me that these scenarios can't happen. These scenarios can happen. Look how much we had to change things around with Saka being out, which, well, we predicted based on the fact that he gets played week in, week out. But then what do you do when you have to play these players? When you have to play Kepa and we're in for, the crunch end, the business end of the season, are you telling me that you're confident with Kepa? The way that Liverpool was confident with Kelleher? The answer is no. So at the end of the day, that 5 million becomes expensive because it's at the expense of us winning a major honor. That is where it's expensive. It's expensive when you have to rely on him and you bottle it. That is where it becomes expensive. But these men always think about, but think about the good times. Okay, but you ain't going to be saying this at the crunch end of next season where we have to win something. Yeah? Because then you're going to say, why did we bottle it? Why did we bottle it? Well, we bottled it because once again, we're going for the cheap option. Once again, we think that we can just use the starting 11. This is back from the mentality why the bench is shit. Because this fan base think that, just play the starting 11. And you don't need to use the bench because the starting 11 are going to be fit all season until you have to use them. Then they're like, the bench is weak. But then when we get into summer again, what does this fan base do? Oh, don't worry, we'll get the cheap option. Okay, the cheap option is why that bench was looking shit in the first place. That was the cheap option. Yeah? Your Nuntavaj, Lokonga, Fabio Vieira, Jorginho, Jesus. Yeah? This is your cheap bench. They can do a job. It's not expensive. And what did it come at the expense of? 5 years, no major honors. This is why I'm annoyed. Because I've seen this bullshit before. Eu tô cansado de repetir a mesma porcaria and nothing ever changes. Do not tell me that's been supporting this club, since the 90s, that, it's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap until we start getting piped in the major when it's the crunch end of the season. Then all of you are going to be bitching and moaning about why we ain't got over the line.
Oi, he goes in the chat.
Get your ass on here. Get your ass on here and
Get it here
talk
now,
about
you
your prime.
Canadian fraud. I'm sick of you.
Alright, big up.
Yeah, from now on,
No
like,
side. I can let you all into a secret. You see, no side. The season Kepa was at my club. Yeah, I think it was Carlos. What was it? The last time he won the double. When Kepa got the ACO, he obviously was in goal then. But after a few games that he played, he was performing so badly. Looney, who was the third choice, knocked him down to the bench, and then Looney played that pretty much the whole season. And Kepa was left on the bench. He was barely allowed to play a game ever since. It was because he wasn't good enough, and that's why Madrid refused to sign him permanently, even as a backup.
Igal, if you want to jump on, it's there. It's in the pin chat. If you do want to jump on.
So I'm saying that
Big up to everyone that's not there. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Yeah, carry on.
So that already is a warning that I can give you already. Like he wasn't even good enough to handle a few games to even be the second choice. So. Again, if people are going to rely on him to get you over the line, if Raya is injured, then bro, I'm just saying it could be very, very, very sticky.
And a lot of the players also get lauded. They get lauded, like the likes of Jorginho, the likes of El Neni, and players like this. They're lauded as almost like legends. I just wonder if a lot of fans don't kind of realize or view Arsenal as a big club anymore. They don't see us, because you can't simultaneously think Arsenal are a big club but also think that it's okay to keep for a big club to keep a manager for 5 years without winning a trophy. That's an incongruent thought. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. So either it seems to me like people actually don't regard it in that highly if they think what's happening at the moment is actually okay.
And Rob, can I back you on that point?
I think what we're doing right now is okay. Yeah.
Rob, wait, what?
Hold on. Let's have a. I can't. Igal, I'm telling you right now. I went out last night. I ain't got the energy to argue. So let's just have a conversation.
Let's stay on Kepa then.
Yeah. Let's stay on Kepa. Let's just have a conversation. Everyone will have their chance to talk. Yeah. But Igal, what's your thoughts on this signing, and what do you think it does for Arsenal?
I think it allows us to invest in the attack and not really need to divert too much focus and finances on the backup keeper. And that is the main reason why Kepa's through the door. He has Premier League experience, Champions League experience. He played decent last season for Bournemouth, and he's an upgrade on Neto. As much as we're complaining about Kepa, I don't think he's a bad keeper. And for 5 million, I'm not really complaining. 100K a week, it's not really that bad for a backup keeper.
100 grand a week.
Yeah, that's the going rate. And I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not too upset about it. And in the grand scheme of it, look at it from this perspective. You got teams like Chelsea who spent 200 million on keepers for 10 seasons and don't even have a good 1 and 2 right now.
Okay, can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead. It's your channel, bro.
Cool. No, I just didn't want to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt you. Okay.
No, I appreciate that.
So the fact that you're comparing it to Neto, I don't think should be the barometer as we're, the level that we should be comparing a backup goalkeeper to the standards of Arsenal in the first place. Second place, there's better options out there that wouldn't break the bank. Kelleher would have been a great option. And before anyone tells me, would he be happy to play second place? At the end of the day, every position should be based on performances, right? You have to perform to keep your place. Before we had Ben White that held down the right back position, people now argue that Timber should hold down the right back position. Does that mean that we sell Ben White? No, he has to fight for his position. So if you're performing better than the starting player, you should always, the fact that we complain about the bench and we say, the bench ain't good enough, the bench ain't strong enough. When we had multiple injuries, you could see they weren't good enough to get us over the line, is why we should be going out there for players that can fight for a starting position, if not are better than what we currently have. That's how you keep your team competitive. That's how you keep your team to a point where you don't drop off levels. I think when you look at the team, Moreno playing in the midfield compared to Partey and Rice is a downgrade. You look at Jesus playing over Havertz is a downgrade, even though both of them ain't that great. When you look at Kivior rotating with Saliba and Gabriel is a downgrade. This is exactly why we drop off levels. We could have went and got Kelleher for 12 million. We could have got Juan Garcia that went for 20 million. These are all in euros.
Did you want him?
Huh?
Did you want Garcia?
I didn't necessarily want him, but I would have been happier with that. I don't think he's a trash second goalkeeper, but I would have been happier with getting him. The one I wanted was Kelleher. The one I wanted was Kelleher. That is actually the one I wanted. When I saw that he wanted to leave Liverpool, Kelleher was the one I wanted. And at 12 to 15 million, we already got 8 million from Nuntavaj. So you'd only have to put in what, another 5-6 million, and you could have got Kelleher out of our budget. So I don't think we needed to break the bank to get a goalkeeper. What upsets me is that Brentford identifying a better goalkeeper.
Would he have came for? Because the whole reason why he left Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken, is to no longer be a backup. Why would he come to Arsenal then to be a backup?
Yeah, but this is the thing though. When we got Champions League football, everyone told us we're going to get world-class players, right? Well, world-class players understand when you go to a big club, there's competition. So you're not going to just walk into the starting lineup, whether that's Arsenal, Real Madrid, Barca. That comes with being at a massive club, right? So we should be explaining to him, listen, if you outperform Raya, then you're going to be the number one. Ramsdale used to be number one. Now we got Raya. It's all based on performances. It's not based on favoritism or fan favorite or manager favorite. So that's what we should be doing. Would he have come? Maybe not. But at the same time, I look at the Inter goalkeeper that they bought for 6.9 million euros summer, and you can see that he's a better goalkeeper than arguably both our keepers. Arguably, yeah. But at the same time, do you know what upsets me? Is that this fan base never learn. We keep talking about they can do a job, and we've had multiple players that could have this title of doing a job. Jorginho could do a job. Jesus could do a job. We'd say Moreno could do a job. It's not been good enough to get over the line. And this is why I don't feel like this club changes, bro. I don't feel like this club changes, Agal, because you keep reiterating the same things that didn't help us get over the line in past transfer windows and past seasons. These players that, they can do a job. If you rely on Kepa, we don't know when injuries are going to happen. If we got to rely on Kepa for half the season, are you confident that we could lift a major honour with him in goal? Because that's a scenario that could happen. Then what? We had to rely on Kivior when we got one of our centre-backs injured. Was that good enough to win a major?
He was better than I thought he was going to be.
But did he lift us a major, though?
We also had injuries in multiple areas of the pitch. Regardless what we say, we had the most injuries in the Premier League last season. We know what injuries we had. That's why we're going out there and not spending 20, 30 million on a backup keeper at this moment in time and spending 5 million. So if we spend 5 million on Kepa Arrizabalaga and we go and get what needs to be done in all the other areas, you're not going to be complaining, I don't think.
I will be complaining. Do you know where it becomes expensive, Igal? When we have to rely on him in quarterfinals, semi-finals, and he's not going to be of the level of our current goalkeeper. And then we'll look back on that game or look back on those times at the crunch end of the season, and we're going to be saying, why didn't we win a major honour? It's because the backup is too many levels below our current goalkeeper. Why did we lose? Because Kivior is levels behind our current centre-backs. Why did we lose? Because we didn't go out there and get a striker, and we relied on Moreno. That's not a striker. Why did we lose? Because we didn't have proper quality rotation for Saka, which is why Ethan was playing as a right wing instead of the number 10, which is natural position. And we had to just stop playing Sterling because he wasn't even producing in the cups. That is where it becomes expensive. You know when? At the expense of us winning trophies, bro. And I've seen us do this, yeah? Not just under Arteta. Wenger started doing this as well. Getting a cheapskate player at times and not going out there and getting the best quality that we could potentially get. We are not broke. And I'm seeing better business for less money or thereabouts in certain deals, and we're struggling to get over the line. This is concerning, Igal. It is concerning, bro.
If he's gonna play 10 to 15 games max across all competitions that he ends up playing, I don't think it's the end of the world.
But you can't predict that. That's my point. You can't predict.
One second. You can't also predict that Ray is going to get injured. Also, 5 million and 100K a week is decent deal for a backup keeper. That is my starting point. Number one, looking at the financial benefit that this gives us. Number two, his experience in the Premier League. He was not a bad keeper last season for Bournemouth. Arguably, he was Chelsea's best keeper on the books.
But there's no pressure at Bournemouth. That's the thing. At Arsenal, there will be pressure.
No, there is pressure. He had to get them from first, keep them out of a relegation situation.
We're talking about winning trophies.
And then got the mid-table. I think he's gotten a lot better. And the main job of a backup keeper is to keep our first keeper fresh. If he can come in the cup games and we still have a decent back line, and we maybe go and invest, instead of spending 20 million on a backup keeper, if we take 15 of that 20 that we're going to spend on a backup keeper and help us go and get another defender that can give us more squad depth, so our team is not wear thin throughout the season, I'm not really too concerned. I think
isn't that the best case scenario? Hold on, let me just say something to that, because I feel like this is where, this is why at the end of every season, I'm proven right. Arsenal, we look at things going in the best case scenario. We do not plan for the worst case. So what you said is the best case. We don't rely on him. Raya stays fit all season, which could happen, and we don't need to rely on him. But the worst case can also happen. And why don't we ever plan for the worst case? Why don't we ever plan? For example, we bought in Sterling thinking that Saka's not going to get injured. But then the worst case happened. Saka got injured. So then we were in the worst case scenario, relying on Sterling to the point we had to drop him because he wasn't performing. We continued with Jesus that was injury prone, predicted that he ain't going to be injured again when even his performance hasn't been good enough. He gets injured, and then we run down Havertz and then think he's not going to get injured. Then he gets injured because he's playing every single game, every week. Then we're back in the worst case scenario. Then we have to then shift players out of position like Moreno, who did decently, but not good enough for us to get over the line. We continued playing Martinelli, that's off the back of a poor season, continuing with him, with Trossard, that also looks like he's disgruntled by the manager, and think that, oh, okay, maybe they can do a job. You don't have to rely on Trossard, use him as a sub, to the point where we were nowhere near as effective on the left as we was on the right when Saka was available. My point is this: we always plan for best case, and then the fan base looks surprised when the worst case happened. In sport, it is unpredictable. So you have to plan for the worst case. And the worst case is, if we have to rely on this, whoever we bring in, if we have to rely on you, are you good enough to maintain a certain level? And if you are not, then you're going to cost us, whether it's at the start of the season dropping points or the end of the season when we need to get over the line. And that is my problem. You know, the fact that you're talking about this keeper in the sense of, if he has to only cover 10, 15 games and we're good, shows within your comment that you're not confident about him if he has to fill in. Last thing I'm going to say, and I'll let you go.
I'm more confident.
100K a week. This is where the 100K a week becomes expensive. We have put multiple players on wages they do not deserve. We are struggling to get rid of Zinchenko for 150. Dortmund were interested and backed away because of the wages. We struggled for a long time to get rid of Nketiah because of the 100K. A lot of teams didn't value him at 100K. We struggled to get rid of players like Holding and El Nene because the wages didn't match the quality of the player. So you can look at 100K and say, oh, but it's not that much. The problem is, when these players under-deliver, we are then selling them to teams like Fulham, Crystal Palace, teams like that. A lot of them look at these players and say, I've got better scouting. I can get better for less wages. Why am I going to pay a payment for this player and put him on 100K? This is where we get unstuck with certain players. Right now, Martinelli, he's been so poor, but 180K is exactly what is stumbling us from moving the player on. Because of the wages, the teams that will take these players, they're not the elite teams. And they're looking at their wage budget saying, we can identify better. We can identify a Semenyo. We can identify an Mbuemo. We can get better value for money instead of putting a player that's failed at Arsenal, that's on 100+ K a week, that is underperforming. This is why we've been stuck with a lot of players and we struggled to shift a lot of these players. So you may think 100K is cheap now. It's expensive because when he under delivers, we're going to struggle to sell him. And when he costs us the trophy, you're going to be talking about, why didn't we we need another goalkeeper? The same way with Runnison, Karl Hein, and all these other bums that we bought in. And Trusty. So pay cheap, pay twice. That's what I'm going to say. You can
1 second. First things first. It's short term. It's not necessarily going to be something that's long-term. It's a stopgap backup keeper. And Kepa has experience at the top level. He's regained his confidence since the debacle at Real Madrid, and he's played well at Bournemouth. Let's not act like he didn't play well at Bournemouth. He did play well at Bournemouth. Also, he's good with his feet. He fits Arteta's system, which is another key part in why he's a decent backup for Arsenal. Chelsea had him on high wages. He's taken a massive wage deduction to join Bournemouth, and now he's also doing the same thing to join Arsenal.
So that's basically proving my point.
Now that is the good scenarios. The bad, if he's inconsistent it could potentially cost us a domestic cup tournament or something like that. I hear that. But with our defenders that we have in our team, I am not too concerned at this moment in time that he will be facing the same level of issues that he faced at Chelsea. Also, he's not taking ridiculous wages. I don't think, even if he's on 100K a week, the fact that we bought him in for 5 million, we could potentially move him on a free or move him on for very cheap to the next club if we need to move him on in the long term. In the long term, the only liability we could have is if he extremely underperforms. And for that to take place, he would need to completely lose his confidence. Our back line would have to be horrendous and have him facing ridiculous amount of shots. And I do think with our back line and the defenders that we have in our team, no matter what, he's still going to have a better performance than he did in majority of these previous teams.
But Igal, does that not prove my point of why I was warning?
Let me finish. Finally, he's not blocking the pathway of anybody who we have in our team that we're saying is going to be the next great keeper or anything like that. If we had somebody in our team right now who we could play behind Raya, who we had confidence in, I would understand why we wouldn't do this. But we're in a situation where we need to get some insurance in the case that Raya goes down. And this is literally just an insurance plan. And the reason why we did it for so cheap is because if they couldn't get their number one backup keeper who could potentially take over from Raya, why are they then going to splurge 10 to 15 million on another random guy?
But Igal, does that not prove my point?
In the short term. I do understand your concerns, but at the same time, I think the benefit in the short term financially outweighs any major concerns that we have at this moment.
But you're saying financially.
Let everybody else talk, yeah? The fact is, us going for Sesko is risky because it's not the best option. Risky. Us going for Kepa, risky. We're us going for Semenyo over Mbeumo, risky. Those are three already off the bat that we're looking at, and we're saying if they can do a job, if they play 15 games, if the best case scenario, if they can just give a little bit of push to the other players that are starting, a little bit of rest. This is concerning. When we bought Berta, all of us were looking at Berta to get in proven world-class players. This is why a lot of people are happy at the appointment. I was happy at the appointment. You can't bring in a specialist and someone that's got pedigree and has got CV and is shown with a smaller budget at Atletico that is able to win trophies in Europe, trophies in Spain, up against giants, bringing in quality players. Then when you come to my football club, you're bringing me players that are project players. If that was the case, we should have just continued with Arteta and said, Arteta, continue doing what you're doing, because he's been bringing players that are potential players. He was here to get the job done. Let's be honest about it. He's been brought here to get us the world-class players that we need to then win over the line. And the fact that we're looking at 3 players and we're talking about ifs and maybes and buts, this is why it's as concerning as when we went and got Moreno, thinking about if, maybe, but if he can perform. Looking at Calafiori, if, but, maybe. The last couple of signings have been like that. What are you bringing to the football club? You are supposed to be... This guy is known for bringing world-class players and trophies. So why, when now he's representing Arsenal Football Club, the standard is now being dropped to, but maybe you can get players that could be better and could be good. Why is it different, bro? He's got a bigger budget at Arsenal. We've got 300 M's to spend. Our reports already came out months ago. We've got 300 million that we can spend before we start hitting PSR. We've got a lot of wages coming off because we've got Jorginho left, we've got Tavares, and we've got other players that we're going to sell. If we get all the players gone, we're going to get up to about 500, 600,000 off the wage bill if everything goes to hand. But either way, we're cutting a lot of the wage bill and players that are not good enough. We've sold Marquinhos. Why is it that this guy has come to a club that isn't a rubbish club? We are competing. The problem is we're not getting over the line. You don't need to rip it all up and start again. All he needs to do is identify the weaknesses and get us, even if it's not world-class players, get us players that make sense. Gyökeres is a risk, yes, but he's a player that's won multiple titles, has shown to score goals. I think this season he scored about 50-odd goals in 60-odd games, has performed at a high level.
Yeah, ask you a question. You watch the Portuguese league. How many? A lot of people are worried about Portuguese league players leaving the Portuguese league and flopping where they go. Cancelo, Ramos, Darwin Núñez, many others have done so.
Vitinha, João Neves have all performed.
No. I'm not talking about Portuguese players going to, from the midfield to those leagues. I'm talking about strikers. How many Portuguese strikers have recently left the Portuguese league, and come to another league. And
Yeah, but just because they haven't, yeah, but just because they haven't succeeded,
one
doesn't mean that
second.
anyone else can't.
Just to make things clear, I am not somebody who's against the signing of Gyökeres. I've actually been campaigning for Arsenal to sign Gyökeres. I don't necessarily think Sesko is the right choice. I think we should go for the more experienced player. But I cannot go and listen to the logic that they're giving me and say, you know what? I do hear it. I do hear some of the logic that they're coming with, saying some of the best players, the top last 10 years, the top goal scorer in Portugal, when they leave Portugal to go somewhere else, they don't reach those levels.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that this guy will flop. That's the point. And number two, Igal, unfortunately, Igal, whether people like to hear this or not, you cannot go for a project player anymore. And that is what's in a lot of people's mind. That's what Sesko is to a lot of people.
Guess what? I agree with you. We should not be going for project players. But at the end of the day, if the club signs Sesko, I'm going to back it.
Luis Diaz,
if the club scouts say that Sesko fits our system better, and
but why are you backing it?
He is potentially, if they say he's potentially going to be a better player than this guy is for now in the foreseeable future, then.
But you just said you don't.
Because we've done this. We've been here before.
How can you say in one sentence? Yeah, your sentence, not my words, your words. You said I agree. We can't buy project players, but if the club buys Sesko, I back it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
This is why you stress me out.
No,
why are you backing
there's one thing. I'm not going to be one of these guys who, if the club signs somebody who I don't necessarily want as my preferred option, I'm not going to then say, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to boo him every time.
No. Of course, it doesn't have to be a preferred choice, but doesn't that give you a warning? I'm
going to give him an opportunity.
Yes, no, but Igal, I agree. It doesn't have to be your preferred choice, or then just throw everything about in the wall. I agree, but do you not see that as a red flag that they're going for a project player over a player who's right now?
I also find it as a red flag that nobody else is really pushing hard for Gyökeres right now either.
Well, Man U.
Nobody has the money. Real Madrid have a striker. City have a striker.
Apparently,
Barcelona can't buy him. Man United are the Champions League. They don't have the money. And let's be honest,
Man United is trying
came from Portugal, and he was balling. I don't know why.
All these teams are going to have money after the Club World Cup. Don't act like
Igal, can I ask you a question? I was actually going to ask you a question.
Club World Cup will have money after the Club World Cup.
That's fine. But I was going to ask you this question. If you've got 300 million to spend, like Norsa said, would you take 30 to 35 to spend it on a Lunin or a Garcia, someone like that, who will be a very, very good second
no
option?
Chance I am investing 30 million this window on a backup keeper.
Even so, you're willing to take the risk with Kepa.
I think it's a mismanagement of funds, and I hope the boys agree with me. We should be investing as much of our money in the attack and the areas where we need.
Nosa said they take Lunin. Nosa and Carl said they would take Lunin.
There's a difference between saying you take him and saying you'd spend 30 million on him.
But I said the cost.
I don't think even Norsa would agree with spending 30 million on Lunin.
Nosa, would you do it,
bro? I just care about quality to get us lifting the trophy.
Yeah, no. But would you do it? Would you
spend 30 million on the backup keeper?
I told you.
I
always want to plan for the best case scenario. If Igal gets
if that 30 million costs you,
for example, let me just answer. Igal, if you identify a goalkeeper for less, that's as good, if not better, then I'll take him. Yeah, I'm all for being clever with our business, and that's why I said Kelleher would have been perfect. You're not breaking the bank, and his quality that can rival what we currently have. You do have to look at that and say that the club should be, if Brentford are able to convince him, Arteta that you back, the process that you back, and if it's as great as they make it seem, we should be in a position to be able to get Kelleher to the club.
Big up, Jess.
You know what I'm saying? Big up.
Like
so at the end of the day, Igal, let me tell you this about the Portuguese league, because you asked me that. I didn't have a chance to reply to that. Falcao left the Portuguese league. He did very well. Not in the Prem, but he did very well in La Liga. Jackson Martinez left the Portuguese league, did very well. James Rodriguez did very well when he left as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Rui Costa did well when he left. There's been loads. Listen, at the end of the day, Igal, you would say that there's maybe a lot of players from Ligue 1 that you wouldn't take in the Prem, but I'm sure you would take Doué, you'll take Vitinha, you'll take Jean Neves, you'll take Kvaratskhelia. You're not gonna rate every single player from the league.
Vitinha was in the Premier League. Vitinha was in the Premier League. Everyone could have had him. He played for Wolves. Nobody took it.
Yeah, and you know he was calling him a baller. Yeah, and the chat know. Yeah, because when I do the Portugal watch-alongs, I've been saying that Vitinha's a baller. How come I got better player ID than this club? And when we got Fabio Vieira, I was the one saying, people asking me, no side, what about the Portuguese league? Maybe you can do a job. I said he's rubbish. And look, as time has proven, I've been right. Why am me as a fan? I'm just a fan. People ask my opinion. I'm not a scout. I'm just a fan watching football. Why can I identify the quality in Vitinha and can see that Fabio Vieira isn't good enough, and the scouts at this club and everybody, the whole scouting department can't? It is poor. They are paid millions of pounds to do this job. How can they can't identify the talent? We can argue over players, Agal. I want quality. At the end of this season, all of us here aren't sitting around here saying, "Yo, how much money? How much profit?"
You know something? You know something?
We're talking about trophies. So when you're telling me I don't want to spend a certain amount of money on players, at the end of the season, you're not going to look at the spreadsheet in terms of our profit and sustainability. All you care as a fan is the trophies, because at the end of this season, we've been more profitable than Spurs. But who has lifted a trophy? They have. And
but who
to tell me that you wouldn't take a trophy, you'll take a trophy.
Who also sacked their manager? Their team was terrible.
Yeah, and they got more standards. Because their manager gets a trophy and doesn't hit when their manager, no, hold on. Their manager wins a trophy, doesn't get to the objective, yeah? He doesn't get to the objective, he gets sacked. Arteta never gets to the objective, yeah? Arteta never gets to his objective to get over the line. And yet you man still want to continue with this guy. That is the difference. Your mentality, it is Spursy, bro. It is Spursy because they had an objective, yeah, for him to get to somewhere. He didn't reach the objective, and he got sacked.
By the way, Tottenham sacking Ange proves that trophies are not all that matters in football.
What?
No. That's your belief.
No.
That's your belief. That's not
because Tottenham sacking Ange after winning their first trophy in 20 years proves that
17. Carry on.
Where you finish in the league matters. Where you finish in the league matters more than you winning a trophy. Because if you have a poor season, in the league, and you finish in the 17th position, you don't get less than 40 points. It is unsustainable to think that manager can lead you in the future.
Do you believe there's goals when Arteta signed this season? Let's speak about this season. Were there goals this season to get to certain to win an FA Cup or to go to the Champions? There was goals, right? Arteta did not hit any goal.
He lost.
Sorry?
He hit multiple goals.
What's the goal? To get second place? Second place is mandatory. Sorry. This is Arsenal.
No, stop. Do you want to know what they were?
What was the goal?
The goals, one, Arsenal got to a semi-final Champions League. Arsenal were still...
Was that a goal?
That was not a goal.
Champions League football again. Arsenal once again we're back in a title race. Although we did not.
No, you didn't. No. We weren't in a title race.
Although we came in second, we fell short by 10 points at the end of the season, and yeah, it wasn't the ultimate goal, which was
the goal was to your top four. That's all you told me, really. Yeah. There may be semi-final in the Champions League. You could say that, but there was goals that he didn't hit. This is how football works. By the way, Rashid, when you don't hit certain goals, you get sacked. It's very simple.
Hey, brother, I'm gonna have to go. But one thing I'm gonna say is, Macy, you seem like a nice guy now that I'm on the stream. You had a lot of bad things to say about me. What's up with you, man?
Because the reason I'm saying, the reason you're a nice guy. Like you don't need to be like I hate this guy. Don't do that. Look, listen to me. The reason I'm saying this is because you and Christian continue to show your support to this manager. How long is this manager going to be here? Because he's not going to win nothing for us next season. He ain't winning nothing because he did that last season. We won nothing. We were in a Champions League semi-final. What happened? PSG beat us. We bottled it. We have bottled every single cup that mattered to us. And all you do, you're just so happy with this manager. You just don't care about the main objective. And the main objective is to win a trophy. All you just want to do, just show your love and appreciation to this manager like he's your favorite. Well, I am not going to show my appreciation because until this manager wins me something, I will keep on saying Arteta out. I will keep on giving my honest about this manager, and I will not stop until I demand football club. And change will come if this manager fucks off out of here.
All right. Yep. Fair enough.
Wow.
He did not like the manager. Now, what does that have to do with me?
Because you act like you're his
continue
lawyer, bro.
To show your loyalty
because
to
I
Arteta.
you're
You-
just like you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. I sat here. I just listened to what you say. Although I disagree with you, I will be respectful and speak with you respectfully. Just because you don't know me doesn't mean you can then say I hate this guy. I hate his opinions. You can hate my opinions as much as you like, but you don't know me as a person, man. So long story short, I disagree with you. I think you're right to your opinion. But before you get to know somebody, we might agree on a lot of other things. There's no need to sit here and be like, hey, I hate this guy. I can't wait for him to come on the stream. I'm going to give it to him. Bro, you're a cool guy.
Because
He's talking about your opinion, nigga.
Yeah, I know. It does come off.
What has Arteta ever done?
It does come off at times.
What has he ever done for you? Apart from one FA Cup, what has he ever done for you, Egal?
I think whatever I say, I will not be able to change your mind. But personally, I think Arteta is one of the best managers in the league. I think Arteta is one of the best managers in Europe tactically. I think he's been able to. What I know Northside's gonna laugh, but what he's been able to do from getting us from where we were to where we are now, I think what we've been short of has been the attacking strength. We've developed the defense. We've built the proper midfield. We're now just at that final phase. We're now at that final phase. We're at that final phase where we're now
piece of the puzzle.
How long would you keep him for if we go trophyless? If we remain trophyless, how long would you keep him?
If that final piece, and if that final piece, let me finish.
Did you see the Newcastle game?
Let him finish, Tracy. Let
me finish. If that final piece to the puzzle is purchased and it still doesn't work, then by all means he can be gone. I'm not Arteta FC. I'm Arsenal FC. That's who I support, right? And I back this manager because I believe in the manager. You're about to mention the Newcastle game. What was it?
Because like at the end of the game, Saliba was pissed off. He was sitting on one of the chairs and he was absolutely pissed off. After we beat Newcastle, like Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Rice, they were all like just like they were just celebrating like we beat Newcastle. Like for what reason?
The clock's taking on Saliba.
I saw Saliba, Gelly, Tierney, and Nwari. They were all pissed off because they know that this club ain't serious. They're just saying to themselves, I'm just getting the fuck out of here, because Saliba, for me, he should go and win trophies elsewhere, because what's the point of him staying at Arsenal?
Macy, one more season, Macy. One more season trophy.
I'm going to leave.
And then my club will go in.
I'm leaving. But I don't think any respecting Arsenal fans should be sitting here saying our best players should be leaving. Because our best players should be delivering us trophies just as much as you demand the manager to be delivering us trophies.
That wasn't what he said. Yeah, but that wasn't what he said.
Says the one person that doesn't demand.
I gotta go. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go out. I gotta go out.
Don't go anywhere. Where are you going? Don't go anywhere.
Bro, I'm headed out.
Put the light back on.
I'm headed out.
The show must go on.
No, I'm headed out, bro. Love for the love.
Let me just say this though.
One side.
Before you go.
You got the.
Before you go out, yeah.
You're
you're telling people to demand, yeah, the best players to win a major honor, but you never demand this manager to win. You always say at the start of the season. The start of last season, yeah. Me and you were back to back. Yeah? You said the manager must win a major honor. End of the season, it doesn't matter, guys. What did you say? No, you said this. Is what you said to me. You said, I'm going to back it to the wheels fall off. That's what you said. Your words. Yeah. I'm going to back it to the wheels fall off.
I said unprecedented circumstances have taken place. Now
one of those buzzwords, isn't it? Unprecedented.
Love for the love. And hey, all I gotta say is Eid Mubarak to all the Northside subscribers. Eid Mubarak to anyone here is Muslim. And to the brother who said I'm disgracing Somalis, bro, I am the last person for you to say that about, because there's people online doing way worse than me. Anyways,
that's debatable.
Yeah, no. Come on. Let's go on now with that, check.
Yeah, there's way worse people.
Raise the standards, Igal. Raise the standards.
And you know something? You raising the standards doesn't mean you have to shit on the club everything that they do.
Oh, well, the thing is that they never do what we want. You wanted Gyökeres, they didn't get it. They're going to get Cisco.
But guess what? They don't do what Liverpool fans want. They still win the league. You don't necessarily have to do what
we don't win. That's the thing. We don't win. We don't win. Let me at him. Come on, man. They win. We don't win.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to say this one more time. Ange Postecoglou being sacked proves to me I'm right and you guys are wrong.
Carlo got
Get out of there.
second again. Miguel, Carlo got sacked for finishing second. There you go. Wait again, bro. I was literally about to debunk his whole bloody point. Ancelotti finished second, won 2
No, but
trophies.
let's get some other people involved as well, Blancos. Yeah, let's let other people. Speak
go
as well,
on,
man. Yo, Carl, what do you make of this, bro? This is what we're dealing with, bro. There's loads of guys. You know? They're like minions.
Carl was laughing.
The sun watching it over the yesterday as well. If a gal's got the same sort of, if we had the same sort of defensive structure, the same defensive mechanism around our fucking borders, the way Gal defends Arteta, England would be in a much more safer place to live. Let's be real, right? Let's be real. Can I ask you guys a question, okay? So he talks about how it's a cheap buy, it's not going to break the bank, this, that, and the other. Fine. He was on 170k a week when he was at Chelsea. He's dropped to 100 grand a week. Cool. Who would you rather take as your backup right now? Forget fee, forget wages, just in quality alone. Who would you take? Kepa or Stefan Ortega?
But they'll tell you, oh, we're going to spend that money on the keeper while we need it for the strikers or the forwards. May I say?
There you go.
That's the
They'll
excuse.
still get the wrong
We don't
one
have
with
money
them,
enough. That war chest. You remember that war chest, Carl? You remember that war chest, the 350? That was bullshit. And then they told us something like 300. That was bullshit as well. And
it's
then
pirate treasure. It's pirate treasure. Is what it is.
Yeah. And then it dropped to 100, and we need to sell a star player. So we can't afford to get a keeper like that. But put in. Do you know what was crazy, Carl? Yeah, put in 100k. Putting Kepa on 100k is my concern. 100k for a goalkeeper that it's a mistake waiting to happen. Let's be real. It's Kepa. We know him. We know him from before. Mistake waiting to happen. 100k is a problem. If you put him on 50k, I'll be like, all right, fair enough. We pay 5 million, 50k, I don't care, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? We're putting him on big money, bro. 100k is big money. You know that Luis Diaz is on 55k. I know it's different forward goalkeeper, but the same concept. 55k for Luis Diaz.
Dubravka's on 44k a week at Newcastle, but he just signed another contract in February.
Why are we giving him that much money? He's coming from Bournemouth. You should bully Bournemouth. He should dream to play for Arsenal. It's not like Kepa is wanted by Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. And nobody wants Kepa. We're the only team that wants
Rashid,
Kepa.
I can give you another fact. Do you know how much Lunin is on? 86 grand a week. That's less than Kepa. And look what he's done.
And Lunin's a better quality goalkeeper.
Exactly.
And he doesn't even there's no competition to Raya. That's something that pisses me off as well. In football, there needs to be competition. Anyone in the chat, anyone here played football in some type of level, even Sunday League. You can't just play with no competition. You have someone on your back. You have to perform every game or else you're on the bench. It's how football works. I'm sorry, Kepa and Raya all day. There's no way Kepa's going to take Raya's place. He's not going to. There's no competition there. No competition. But it is what it is, man. We the first signing Raya, just another reason to be pissed off at the club. Do you get me?
Do you know what gets me as well? Is like if this was any other club, if it was Liverpool, or if Lampard had stayed at Chelsea and not been sacked, if this was at Spurs, if this was at Man United, where a manager had been there for 5 years, no trophy, all these guys that are backing Arteta will be mocking those clubs and saying that they've got a loser mentality and why are they keeping the manager so long when they've not won anything. But for some reason, for us, the standards, the expectations are completely different because of Arteta. The brainwashing, the PR and everything is, I take off my hat to it because it's impressive stuff that they do. When you see what you see online, I got told the other day by some guy on Twitter, I know that there's a load of nonsense, there's a load of mutants on there, as we know. But I got told literally, if you want to win trophies, why don't you go support Barca? And that was apparently from an alleged Arsenal fan. If you want to win trophies, go and support Barca. This is the type of people they are breeding now. This is and it's an infestation for sure. It's a mad thing to think. Like, imagine if I was in the 12 Pins pub in 2004 celebrating the Invincibles, the final game of the season. I think it was Leicester. And imagine saying to us back then, in 2004. Enjoy this. Enjoy the next few weeks. Enjoy the next few months, because you guys aren't going to win another title for 20 years at least, and you're not going to win anything in Europe for 20 years at least. It gets to the point where you're like, I was 41 on Sunday, and I'm kind of like, fucking hell, am I going to see a Champions League? Am I actually going to see a Champions League? You start to worry. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, I hear that.
But this thing, you would think these people, if they didn't say they were Arsenal fans or didn't have an Arsenal show, you would genuinely think these guys were Tottenham fans. You genuinely would think that. Like,
I don't think they know how big Arsenal is. I don't think he realizes how big we are. Do you know what I'm saying? And well, yeah, obviously we're not as big as Man United and Liverpool because of the trophies.
Oh, that doesn't matter. Arsenal is still a huge club.
Do you know we're still a huge club? I don't think they respect us like that or put us
exactly
on
my
that
point.
pedestal. Do you know what I'm saying?
The issue is, Rashid, this is the harsh reality. I've looked at the clubs he supports. Listen, nothing bad against him. Yeah, he's a cool guy. No, I've got no issues with the guy whatsoever. I know people don't like him, but
oh no,
I'm cool with it. But
there's worse. There's worse.
Yeah, there's Ty.
There's worse.
There's Ty, but let's not even get into him because that guy's far gone. But he supports clubs in other sports that are losers in those sports. So this is the issue when you bring a fan like that into but you see what I mean, Rashid?
He's used to it.
He's a
Exactly,
League
and this is the danger.
fan. He's a League fan. They haven't won the Stanley Cup in 58 years.
But this is the point, Carl. When you get people who support loser club in other sports, and then you bring them to their own club, bro, they're not going to have the same standard as a guy who's seen it all. In it, that's the thing. But this is why I'm saying, if you want to support a club in whatever,
but don't they get jealous? Like, don't these men get jealous?
No, but learn your history. No, but learn your history.
Just enjoying the journey.
Do you think? I don't think it's just history. Let's say you were born 2004. Okay, you didn't see anything. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But you see City doing well, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. Don't you get jealous? I don't understand. Anybody in the chat, don't you get jealous? You must feel some type of way.
And the thing is, Rashid, I don't think he realizes. I don't think he realizes as well. Even if you sack Arteta next season, with all these players he's bought, I don't think people like it. Like you guys will realize, because you guys have brought this up multiple times, all of you on here, even Rob, who I've only talked a few times to. But I don't think people like Igao realizes that when he gets sacked, because that guy is going to get sacked. I think next season, I think he'll be the final straw, and then he's gone, because I don't think he'll win anything again. But as soon as he gets sacked, I am telling you right now, it's going to be a nightmare clearing out these players that he's bought that are not good enough. That's going to be a huge, huge problem. I don't think he realizes that until it's going to be far too late. This is the issue.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I did.
I know Sai looks to play. He just wants to end the stream.
End the stream, Dave. It's his birthday, isn't it? So
is it?
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
is it really? Oh, big up Dave.
Birthday,
that's my Madridista right there.
We're gonna be, man. Gonna go see him. It's his birthday.
Big up Dave, man.
Yeah, man. Big up Dave, man. Happy birthday to.
You're going to Madrid, ain't you? Yeah. You're going to Madrid, ain't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you better do the tour around my stadium, brother. Yeah?
Yeah.
You better do the
stadium.
tour.
Our stadium. No.
What? Oh, our stadium. Look at this guy, yeah? If you
We're going to go sign with Madrid.
No. Rashid.
I'm your new signing, bro. I'm your new signing.
Welcome, yeah? Go ahead and sign a shirt then, yeah? You
I'm down for rotation.
Sam, I'll put a post on Instagram saying, "Here we go, him picture of a new Real Madrid shirt next to fucking Lee Gunner." There you go.
Yeah. You know what? Real talk, yeah? Do you know what? I'm making a bid, yeah? No side, Rashid, Carl, all of you, man. Oh, just join my club. Just join my club. Yeah. No, bro, piss off.
Someone's already joined your club already. Well, by default at the moment. Anyway, that's my son. He's got Real Madrid pajamas.
I big up your son.
And he's
Well,
only
I
big up your
would
son.
love to be a Real Madrid fan, but I would rather stick to Galatasaray because for me, like they've got better like mentality than Arsenal when it comes to trophies.
Yeah,
so,
but it doesn't take much to have better talent than Arsenal, my brother. Come.
Listen, I'm a Betico. I go watch Real Betis every April or so, and their fans are more demanding. Our Real Betis fans are more demanding of the club, and we don't win anything, but they're still they've still got that vigor.
They wanted the
to
manager
demand more.
sacked, Rob, after that final. They wanted him sacked after
Oh, I've
that
wanted him
final.
sacked for a while, but the issue is who comes to bet is because it's not like such a big name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Pellegrini hasn't, he's kept us consistently sort of like in and around the top 8, top 6 Europa League, but we're not kicking on.
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know what's crazy? Even like Tottenham, they actually tried and went out there. They bought Mourinho. They bought Mourinho, and they bought Conte. They actually tried. They went out there and bought a proper manager, like with a proper CV. Twice, innit? Twice. And they sacked this guy, even though he won them a trophy. There's some kind of standard at that club. For us, we didn't even try. After Wenger, we went and bought Unai Emery. Unai Emery, nothing against him, but like, he's not what I expected. I wanted someone with a big name. I wanted a big name after Wenger. Because Wenger was a big name. So that's what I expected. Do you know what I'm saying?
And you had a long list of them. You had Ancelotti, you had
Tell him.
Massimo Allegri, you had Luis Enrique.
Arsenal should be managed by an established long-term elite.
But these guys are not yes man. This is the issue. These guys are not yes man. The board clearly wants a yes man. These men are not yes
Or
man.
at least try. We don't even buy players that are ballers. We don't even buy players. A player like Rodrigo right now, 86 million, sitting there. Go out there and do it.
That's not the issue.
Yeah.
Rashid, that ain't even the
United
issue.
go out there and buy Varane and Pogba and these
Wait,
players.
Rashid, you haven't heard. You haven't heard what the issue is. The issue ain't even the money, brother. Yeah? That's not even the issue is he wants 10 million net and Arsenal refused to pay him that. That's the issue. They don't even want to pay him Arsenal does not want to pay Rodrigo the wages he wants.
Oh yeah, the package is too expensive.
Yeah. But Kepa 100 grand. But Kai Havertz nearly 300 grand. Sesko, how much are they offering him?
It's laughable. It is absolutely laughable.
Calafiori went from 15k to 120.
Crazy
thing. And Rob, when you're trying to get rid of them, who's gonna buy them, bro? Like who's gonna buy them?
And we have Gyökeres, the perfect chance to sign Gyökeres. For everybody out there, bro, everybody loves GA, innit? Most people go
XG.
GA, innit? Like he's got great GA. Let's go out for him.
Oh, XG as well. People talk
get
about
me a
XG.
baller. They told us Champions League will get you ballers. We're still waiting. It's been 4 years. We're still waiting. I've seen other teams without Champions League buy players. Stop it. Just say you don't have Paul. Just say Arsenal do not have Paul, and it is what it is, and start paying the money. If you don't have Paul, pay the money. And then when you pay the players and you bring them to the team and you start being you start winning trophies and being successful, then you can have Paul. But you have to invest. You have to invest. You know what I'm saying? Don't.
Rashid, if let's just say in an alternative inflated universe, right? Let's say we went and got Rodrigo. Let's say we got Gyökeres. Let's say we also got Eze from Crystal Palace as well. We can then have a conversation to say, hey, Liverpool City, you buying your players. Guess what? We've got our men right now.
Why has no one bought Eze yet?
I've got no idea.
Yeah, this is a
It's
big
just the
question.
thing is, this is all.
How old is Eze?
Because he's number 10 now.
He's 22.
We
But the
can't
thing is,
buy anybody.
I've clocked this as well.
Yeah,
No
he's
side
and
Jess has made this
Europe
point.
now. So
26. Sorry.
He's 26. So
Yeah.
he's
Anybody that plays in Odegaard's position or Saka position, we're not going to buy anyone. Because we affect their progression.
Now,
So we
Rashid,
need to compete with them.
Rob, do you know what it is? Nosa and Jez have said this before. I actually didn't clock this, but now I'm thinking about that. Both Nosa and Jez will spawn. The issue is for Arteta and the Arsenal board, if they buy these kinds of men, Gyökeres, a Rodrigo, a Eze, these kind of players, all right? I think even the chat will understand now as well. If they sign these players, these guys are already made. Like Nosa and Jez said, then he has to win. Then he can't have any excuses left. When he buys a Sesko and these man, because they're young and inexperienced, and they're gonna take time, that gives him more time to get through this mess. Do you see what I'm
Do
saying?
you think Arteta thinks he has time? I think Arteta realizes now that he doesn't have time.
Rob, I think he does, because why the hell would you go for Sesko over Jurgen when Sesko clearly ain't a goal scorer? Why? And he's ultimately admitted. I even asked Jez the same thing. He ultimately has admitted he doesn't have a 20 to 30 goal striker a season. So why the hell would you not buy someone that is out there and get someone that's more expensive and clearly hasn't ever hit that number? No, sir. Am I lying?
I think, do you know what it is with Arteta? This season, he's been questioned in a way that he's never been questioned before. He hasn't been scrutinized to this level that he has this season, to the point where, what I mean by that is, we saw multiple press conferences the last couple of games of the season, and towards the, obviously after the season ended as well, of him doing interviews and press conferences where he's been directly told, "Are you getting a striker? Why is the team not strong enough? How are you going to strengthen?" And then every time he gives an answer, he keeps, because do you remember when he said he said something? He said they asked him about a striker again. He got rattled and he said, "What did I say in January? What did I say in January?" Yeah. I said this, and the sentence continues, which means it continues. Yeah. And you can
it's
see
too simplistic. That's what he said at the end. Too simplistic.
Yeah, bro. Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's like an artist, yeah, that was number one before, and then the music ain't banging no more. They don't understand. They don't understand. They're not lit no more. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is with Arteta. Like, he's felt like I'm that guy. Everything I drop is a hit. You know what I'm saying? Every season's a hit. You know what I mean? I'm just platinum records everywhere from the perspective of this fan base that got no standards. You know what I'm saying?
He's surrounded by people telling him that.
He's probably thinking like, yo, like, you guys have been, these men have propped him up like a messiah, bro. Let's just be real. They propped him up like a messiah. Sky Sports, Talk Sport, all of these, man. BBC, all of them. The whole fan base, they all prop this guy up. You know what I mean? So now that he's getting questioned,
because they want him to be another Wenger, yeah.
It's the first time he's feeling a pressure of having to deliver, because his whole thing, this whole time has been, we're building and look where it took us from. But now it's like, well, you've had 3 years of finishing second, bro. Like,
this building is too tall.
You get me? So that's why I feel like I feel like the pressure. I feel like the pressure's getting to him, bro. And I think he's very naive to think that the fan base will never turn on him, because they turned on Wenger. You know, I think Arsenal fans take the longest to turn, but once they turn, they turn. And I think a lot of people are now turning.
But it's going to be too late. Also, I think.
Do you think he'll get sacked? Do you think he'll get sacked if he doesn't win anything this season?
He'll get sacked. He'll get sacked. Yeah, when they start to become empty seats because people come disillusioned with winning the title, like they did with Wenger. And then that's what I thought like got Wenger removed. People not going to games. The club start looking at it and thinking, we're getting less for sponsorships. We're getting less money in. The fan base is in turmoil. You're no longer a shield to what we got going on, our money-making machine. I think as long as Arteta continues to make them money, they'll be good. As soon as he's no longer the protective shield, they get rid of him. All these clubs that are interested in making money do it. Daniel Levy does it all the time. As soon as
I don't think he'll survive this season, North.
Huh?
Like, let's say, I want to ask, like, let's say he gets semi-final in the Champions League, just the same as this season. Kind of like, you know what I'm saying, competes in the league. He does everything. He gets second place, you know, as usual. So business as usual. Cup? Do you think he would get sacked?
Does he win a cup, Rashi, or not?
Nah, he doesn't win a cup in this.
Then he's gone.
He's sacked. He's gone. Yeah, for me, guys.
If
I've got
he
a bounce.
wins a Carabao Cup,
I've got a bounce.
No, I've said this now, Rashid. Okay, listen, I'm 34 years of age. I cherish the FA Cup. I cherish the League Cups. But this manager's now been in charge for 5 years and won absolutely nothing. I think I am now at a point now where it's like...
No, I'm talking about the owners. Do you think the owners will sack him if he wins a Carabao Cup only?
Until they start seeing empty seats, I don't think they'll change their mind. However, the only thing I would say is if we did fall off short again, Arteta's got 1 year left on his current contract. There's no way they would give him another contract if he fails to win anything this season. It's better.
I got to head off. Yeah, it's good to speak to you all. Yeah, good to see you all. Rob. I got to go. Big up North. I know he's like not in this thing now, but yeah. I'll see you all soon. Yeah.
Big up,
Rob.
See you in a bit.
See ya. Yeah, so you don't think that he will get sacked? I don't know, man. Because
Rashid, I think he will get sacked. But I think
he will if he goes trophyless.
But Rashid,
I'm worried. If he wins the Carabao Cup, I think
but Rashid, it doesn't matter even if he gets sacked or not. Rashid next time, I think it's too late. Unless he doesn't win a league or UCL, bro, it's too late. Whether they sack him or not, because you don't think. And listen, I wanted to ask Noel this, but before it comes, let me just ask you, man, this: Gabriel has signed a new deal, correct?
Yeah.
Is there any and even the chat as well. Is there any coincidence that Saliba hasn't put that paper down with him now and signed his deal? Why?
Yeah, because because I was like pissed off at Egal, because when I told him, when Saliba was sitting down after the Newcastle game, you could see that furious look on his face. He really wants to leave Arsenal and go and play for Real Madrid, because now he's starting to realize that we're not serious about winning nothing. We're just we just want to pretend that we beat a team that we have not beaten for like.
Well, that's the thing. Macy, that's the thing. Is Carl, Macy, Rashid? Is this a coincidence really? Gabriel signed, but then the other lad besides him, hasn't even put his pen to paper, and he can genuinely sign the contract now if he wants to.
That's concerning to say the least.
And don't tell me he hasn't been offered a new deal, because he's been offered a new deal for time. Don't give me that as well.
I've had a war with a gal as well on this one, where I've said that when you've got 2 years left on your deal, that's when the sport director has to start showing his hand. Either you give the player a new contract, and if he signs it, fine, all good and dandy. If he doesn't sign it, you're then stuck in one of two minds. You either let him run it down, and then the player has the leverage, not you. The player has the leverage, because now he can run that final year down, and with 6 months to go, he can then go and talk to whoever the hell he wants to. Either his agent can go and talk to whoever the hell they want to. But hang on.
Well,
but the other option, if Saliba doesn't sign that contract, the sporting director can then turn around and say, "Cool, okay, well, we're gonna go to the highest bidder then."
Would you sell him next summer if he still
next summer?
Yeah, because I don't.
He's got a contract. How long is his contract, Carl?
How long is
2 more years.
2 years after. If he doesn't sign and goes into next season, he has the leverage then.
Yeah,
the player has the leverage then in that final year.
Would you sell him then? Because the club clearly ain't going to sell him this summer.
It'd be too late. You won't be able to sell him next season. You will
not
be able to
sell him for cheap. You mean you'd probably sell him for cheap?
You'd have to sell him for cheap. This is what I
80.
say. Either he signs a new contract now, or you sell him now. You can get 80, 90, maybe even 100 million for William Saliba right now. And then you can get 1, 2, maybe even 3 potential players, quality players that ain't going to cost a bomb. Considering Burton knows how to find fucking gems out of knows how to find gems out of stones. You should be able to, find 2 or 3.
Do you really think Burton is signing players? I don't really think so, because I'm seeing Arteta signings.
At this moment in time, I don't. Okay, because this Kepa signing is worrying me. If it is a Berta signing, then I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Do you know it's an Arteta signing, Carl? Come on, the Kepa one. Kepa, Zubimendi, and Sesko, Arteta.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because no way would Berta sell. So if Berta came up and turned around to say, do you know what? I think we should spend 100, maybe even 110 million on Cole Palmer. That I wouldn't be against, because Cole Palmer is the best out of a bad bunch of that Chelsea team. He single-handedly keeps that team together. So if we went and paid 100 million to Chelsea for freaking Cole Palmer, guess what? I would take that in a heartbeat. He's the only player worth a damn you'd take on that squad right now.
I know, say you're here.
Maybe.
No, say you're here. Let me just ask you this, no, say
Casado, yeah, I'd take Casado.
I know, say, can you hear me?
Yo, yeah.
I wanted to ask you, no, say you see Gabriel, he's just signed a new deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any is it a coincidence? Do you think that Saliba hasn't put the pen to paper with him now?
I'm thinking because he's a winner, bro. He's a winner. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he's having doubts in his head?
I think so, because why wouldn't you? Saliba's been more the player linked away more than Gabriel. Like,
that's
Gabriel
what I'm saying.
is kind of very flaky in it. So I think it's one of them ones. But do you know what? He's a winner, and I always referred back to his comments that he said that how can I be one of the best centre backs in the world? I ain't won major honours. You know what I mean? So that just showed them a little bit of an inside of his mentality. Whereas Gabriel, it shows that he's just comfortable. He's comfortable being at a club where he just starts every week, no demand to win anything. And he's got a fan base that will protect him, because that's how this fan base are. When you're here, they'll protect you through bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you do. So it's one of them ones, man. But listen, big up to everyone. I do need to go because I need to make sure I get ready in time to go link up with Dave. You get me? It's raining mad outside, bro.
Yeah, it's
Ala
mad.
This is
Madrid,
why-
you
this is
know
why
that,
Rashid ain't on his bike.
I'm indoors. I'm indoors today. You get me? Ain't no way I'm going out.
That's
I'm indoors.
typical. That's typical London, mate. That's typical English.
No, but you know
No,
what? The
but it's
weather's
been raining
the
for a
weather's
long
been
time.
calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
What?
been calm lately. I can't lie.
Yeah,
The
it's
weather's
been calm. It's been all right.
What in England?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
something new. All right, fair
I
enough.
know.
If he has it, fair
That's
enough.
why you saw Rashid and his Boris bike,
bike.
bro. You had to
On the
stand
Boris
there.
Bro, the ox can't catch me. You get me? Your ox, you can't catch me, bro.
Making my way downtown, walking fast and I'm homebound.
It's all right.
It's raining outside.
And I need you.
I'm telling you, this is how we get that. But I understand Rashid. That's how we get, bro. Like over here in London, when the sun comes out, we're like, yo, you got to make the most out of it. Even if you're ill, go
Big
outside.
Big speaker, my
Bro,
suit.
we've got
You
more
get me?
sun
Big
here
speaker, my suit in the
than
park.
you lot.
Getting liquid
You know,
drinks,
wait
you know what I'm
today.
saying? And I'm there. I'm there, bro.
Yeah, sir. Big up, bro.
Oh, shit,
Apologies.
man.
Before we
Oh,
wrap up, bro, what you got to say? This guy with the same background.
Ah, you're mute. Yes, you're mute.
No, yo, the background. Okay, listen, nothing, man, nothing. Oh, Macy, man, big up Macy. You done your
We
thing today.
want
Man.
it all.
Macy
want
cooked.
it all.
I can't lie, bro. Macy, you done
I
your
was
thing.
pissed off. I was like, this was me releasing my anger on Egal because he's been
Pause.
saying for like a week that I've been talking like I've been saying all these stuff behind his back, but now this is the first time I'm saying straight to his face that
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, it reminded me of, you know, that scene in Home Alone. It's just gunshots, bro. I was looking, I'm thinking, right. But listen, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, I don't know what to think about the Kepa deal. Obviously, for us, it's different because that 5 million we can use towards, I don't know, Manyan or someone else, innit? But that's where I think, to me, low key, the embarrassment come from. But if you look at just a backup goalkeeper, maybe you could have gotten like someone with a talent that can challenge this guy. The what's it called? The Raya, whatever his name is. Or it can turn out to be a thing where he ends up doing the run.
Real? Is
He can do
Osimhen
the-
real? Yo, the deal
What?
for Osimhen for Chelsea.
Where's that coming up? I ain't heard of it. All I know
I
is
heard.
he said
Let me
he
check.
flew. He's linked to. Yeah, man said Rashid's on the bike singing "Sexy Red."
Like, might not be lying, you know.
You
Yeah.
know, it's 7 p.m. Friday. You know what's out. You know what's on. You get me? It's 7 p.m. Friday. Nah,
But-
I don't listen to Sexy Red, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. The fuck? You get
Marie,
me?
like,
I'm
way
cool,
later,
but
bro.
don't do that, bro. You get me?
He said he don't
listen.
listen, but he sang the song
You
himself.
know,
No one
bro.
forced you to sing it.
You get me?
You
Because
get
I'll
me?
find you. Don't.
Yeah, I get it. I
fuck.
get it. But
Sexy
in
Red,
general,
bro.
I
Come
don't know
on,
because
man.
there's multiple ways this can go, innit? Like it can end up being, you know what I'm saying? Well, what happened to Ramsdale can end up happening to Raya. You never know. You know the ones. Yeah, Kepa can end up number one if Arteta
No
just
chance.
stays.
Bullshit.
That's the
No.
worst case scenario. Worst
No
case scenario. But this is why I agreed with Northside when he told me earlier when he said that. Do you think Kepa can cover for half the season? And no, not half the season.
Yes, sir.
But
Both
what?
me and you have had experience with this guy. Both me and
Mhm.
you.
5 games.
Yeah. Oh, you had him on loan. Listen, this is how long
Rashid.
you've been away from my club, bro. I don't remember.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
remember.
That guy got benched for the third
Yeah, I know.
keeper. The
Lunin.
third keeper.
Lunin, innit?
Rashid, he benched the second keeper.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He doesn't
And-
even look like a keeper, innit? Like he's
And brother, he's earning more money also. He's gonna earn more money also than my second keeper who won me a Champions League, a double, and lost 2 games all season. He's gonna do.
You know what it is? They're gonna open 200k in our wage bill, because that's gonna go
100 grand. Yes, sir.
around that. I think it's around. It's between 150 and
Yeah,
200.
I
we
think
get.
it was like 170 Kepa, 170 a week Kepa was on.
Yeah.
At Chelsea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
madness.
and that's a
That's what I'm
madness,
saying.
that is.
Yeah, man.
How much
Listen,
was
I know
he?
you-
170.
Yeah, at Chelsea.
Man.
Yeah.
What? Yo, bro, his agent, yeah. Whoever Kepa's agent is, he's
Fair play to him.
yeah, fair play
Fair
to
play.
him, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my issue is
He's
just
not
Osimhen,
actually,
you know. He looks like he's way too hungry for this money, bro. Instead of just
Bro,
accepting a deal,
Because
man
he's
said
a
I'm going
killer,
to
bro,
I'm going
let's
to
be honest.
man said I'm going to Nigeria, I'll decide over there.
You know
Nah,
what he
but
would have loved?
Osimhen's
Yeah?
a
Do you
killer.
remember when they were all going to the Chinese league, like Alex Teixeira, Oscar, and all them man there?
Oscar went,
That-
yeah.
them- Yeah, if that was available, well, it is in Saudi, but he would have jumped on that. He's gonna jump on that, bro, because it's not even about heritage for him. It's about the
Brother,
money.
they told him it's too much money. They told him
He's
he's asking for too much.
bro. He's got a village to feed. That's how it goes.
I thought Victor Osimhen.
He hasn't done enough in the game. That's the problem with him. Yeah, he hasn't done enough in the
It's either
game.
that or Napoli.
He hasn't done enough in the game. Like, yeah, you did your thing in Italy, but you haven't done enough in your game. Like, you're asking the type of money, yeah, that seasoned veterans that have won it all will go to Saudi and ask for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, you ain't got that kind of CV. That's the problem with it. You ain't got the CV, and yet, look, I get it in a way because we've seen mad amount of players getting.
But he's one of the best,
Huh?
He's one of the best strikers now.
But you don't have the CV for the amount that he's asking for. It's like, bro, like, who are you, Benzema, bro, in his prime? Like, you're not that guy, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Karim.
It's true. You're not that guy to be asking that. Like,
this is
This 300k after he wants like 300k after
I was an agent, yeah.
400 grand.
400.
If I was an
After,
agent,
he's going to Saudi, mate.
jump on 200 to 250, yeah, around that ball mark and say, cool, yeah. There's not a lot of strikers out there, cool. 2 to 250, cool, you're good. Depending on the club as well, but 250, you're good. You're eating good. It is what it is. Your brand will go up with one of these elite teams as well. Do you know what I mean? So your social media will go up, your brand deals will go up. These man make a lot of these players. Let's be real. A lot of these players, yeah, their wages are only like sometimes only half their money. They're getting bare money off football. Do you know what I mean? Just things surrounding football, like sponsorship deals and all that type of stuff. So
but don't worry, no, sir. You're gonna give 100 grand to a bench player now in Kepa, who's in his 30s.
But we don't have money to spend. We're saving money, but we would give it to Kepa. Do you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. How much would Kepa be getting? 100k. So how much Kepa would be getting?
What, 5 mil? I think you're paying him 5 mil for him.
We have to trigger a 5 mil release. We have to trigger a 5 mil release.
Your first ever signing in this window, Kepa. Out of all players, Kepa.
Anyway, Bundes Club, man. Listen, big up to everyone that's locked in. Big up Carl. Big up to everyone locked in. Yasser, Rashid, Macy, Blancos, everyone that's locked in. We're going to redirect to Sunshine. You know what I mean? Help out Sunshine. She always helps out the channel as well.
There you go.
You're going to get lit. You're going to get lit, North. Where you lot heading?
Nah, bro, I feel I was out all last night, bro. I was tired.
Yeah.
I know. I saw the Instagram post.
You have to follow. This is what our ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? This is a Latin way, bro. Come on. Keep up.
That's what we got to do, man. That's what you got to do. You have to have other things outside of
my
football,
ancestors, man. You know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, ancestors. No. Yeah, his ancestors lived like this, of course.
Real talk, mate.
Well, Matt's a bit different, but yeah, same idea.
No side for your to your own advice, brother. Do the girl talk more and all that, bro. Stay away from Arsenal for the summer, because bro, it's already 5 days in the transfer. You're already.
Oh yeah, yesterday was lit, by the way. Anybody that didn't watch yesterday,
that stream was fire. That was a fire stream. So North, bro, they're gonna piss you off the longer this goes, brother. Yeah. So for your own sake, bro, stay away from Arsenal. That's just my advice.
Of course, Rashid's gonna say yesterday's stream was lit, bro.
It was lit.
That was probably demonetized, fam, and flagged. You don't know.
You got
raising awareness.
Now,
he was raising awareness to the man.
Rashid, you killed me yesterday, brother. You killed me yesterday.
Yeah, because raising awareness, I preach. You get me?
Nah, it sounded like PTSD. You know.
Oh, Rashid was the funniest guy on there, bro.
Rashid knows about all the predators, bro.
Nah, Rashid was like, I don't give a damn, bro. I do not give a damn.
Nah,
but you be watching that on Insta, bro, like all the time. Don't you lot watch? I don't know. I always be watching on Insta.
Listen, hey, Rashid,
don't you lot watch?
That might happen sometimes, you know. That might happen sometimes. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. Hold on. I'm talking about the Diddy case. Whoa. But the other things
okay. My bad.
We're not going down this.
Don't get him started, bro. Don't get him started.
Actually, just start your own stream right now and do the whole Diddy talk.
No, sir. End the stream, Dave.
End it now.
Yo, big up, familia. We're